Welcome back to AI Copywriting Tools, where we explore the latest and greatest in artificial intelligence. I'm thrilled you've joined me today, because we're diving into a really exciting comparison. I've spent the past week rigorously testing two AI image generation models that have made quite a splash: Nano Banana Pro and its predecessor, Nano Banana 2. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you're going to see exactly why the whole AI community is buzzing about these models, and you might just rethink which tool you're using for your own projects. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, if you find this breakdown helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to AI Copywriting Tools. It really supports the channel and makes sure you don't miss out on future deep dives into the AI tools that are shaping the industry. Right, let's set the stage. For this comparison, I decided to use a platform that many of you are already familiar with and one that I personally use quite a bit. 11 Labs. Now, you might know 11 Labs primarily for their incredible voice synthesis, but they've also integrated some fantastic AI image generation capabilities right into their platform. It makes it incredibly easy to experiment with different models side by side. In fact, if you haven't tried 11 Labs yet, I highly recommend giving it a go. I've put my affiliate link down in the description below. If you decide to sign up through that link, it helps support the channel at no extra cost to you, which I massively appreciate. It's a brilliant platform, and it made this comparison an absolute breeze to set up. Nano Banana 2 has been around for a little while now, and it's built a solid reputation for producing highly stylized, almost illustrative quality images. It's the kind of tool that's been brilliant for creating concept art or assets for indie games. But then, along comes Nano Banana Pro, promising a massive leap forward in photorealism, detail, and prompt adherence. The question is, does it actually deliver? To find out, I ran a series of standardized prompts through both models on the 11 Labs platform. I wanted to test them across a range of subjects: portraiture, landscapes, complex lighting scenarios, and something a bit more abstract. Let's start with portraiture, arguably one of the toughest challenges for any AI. The prompt was straightforward. A close-up portrait of an elderly fisherman with deep wrinkles, weathering a storm, dramatic cinematic lighting, photorealistic. When I looked at the output from Nano Banana 2, I was impressed, but not exactly blown away. The image was good. Certainly, it captured the essence of the prompt. The fisherman looked weathered. The lighting was dramatic. However, it still had that slightly painted, almost digital art feel to it. The skin texture wasn't quite there. It lacked the porous, imperfect quality of real human skin. It was stylized, which is fine if that's what you're after. But it wasn't the photorealism I'd asked for. Then I pulled up the result from Nano Banana Pro, and honestly, I had to do a double take. The difference was night and day. The Pro model delivered an image that looked like it could have been shot by a seasoned National Geographic photographer. The detail in the wrinkles was astonishing. You could see individual pores, the subtle reflections in the eyes. The lighting didn't just look dramatic, it looked natural, interacting with the contours of the face in a way that the previous model just couldn't replicate. It was a clear, undeniable victory for the Pro model on the realism front. Next up, I wanted to test landscapes. The prompt here was a sprawling cyberpunk city at dusk, neon lights reflecting in puddles on the street, flying cars in the distance, highly detailed 8K resolution. Nano Banana 2 handled this reasonably well. It's always been good at these vibrant, neon-soaked aesthetics. The colors popped, the composition was decent, and it definitely felt like a cyberpunk city. But when you zoomed in, the details started to fall apart. The buildings in the background became muddy. The reflections in the puddles were a bit chaotic, and the flying cars were mostly just glowing blurs. It gave you the vibe, but not the substance. The Nano Banana Pro, on the other hand, treated this prompt like a masterclass in architectural rendering. The level of detail was staggering. You could almost read the neon signs on the buildings in the midground. The reflections in the puddles were mathematically precise, mirroring the specific lights above them. And the flying cars actually had shape and structure to them, and seemed to be following invisible roads, which would be necessary for large-scale air traffic control. The Pro model didn't just create an image. It built a believable world. The depth of field and the atmospheric perspective were miles ahead of the Nano Banana 2. Now, let's talk about something a bit trickier: complex lighting and material textures. The prompt was a still life of a crystal glass half full of whiskey, resting on a rough wooden table, illuminated by a single warm candle, soft shadows. This is where things got really interesting. Nano Banana 2 struggled with the refractive properties of the crystal. And the liquid. It looked more like a solid block of amber plastic than a glass of whiskey. The wooden table looked okay, but the interaction of the candlelight with the different surfaces was flat. It didn't convey the warmth or the mood I was looking for. The Nano Banana Pro nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. The caustic reflections through the crystal glass were beautiful and physically accurate. You could see the subtle imperfections in the glass itself. The whiskies looked viscous and rich, and the rough grain of the wooden table caught the candlelight perfectly. It understood not just what the objects were, but how light should behave when it hits them. This level of material understanding is what separates the good models from the truly great ones. Finally, I wanted to throw a curveball. Something abstract and conceptual: the prompt. The concept of time passing, represented by a clock melting into a surreal landscape, Salvador Dali style, vibrant colors. Interestingly, this is the one area where Nano Banana 2 held its ground. Because it naturally leans towards a more stylized, illustrative output, it handled the surrealist prompt beautifully. The melting clock looked like it was painted by Dali himself, and the vibrant colors blended seamlessly into the landscape. The Pro model also produced a stunning image, but it took a different approach. It was fascinating, but perhaps a little jarring compared to the more cohesive, painted look of the Nano Banana 2 for this specific style of prompt. So, what's the verdict? If you're looking for hyperrealism, precise details, and an incredible understanding of lighting and materials, the Nano Banana Pro is an absolute powerhouse. It represents a significant, undeniable leap forward from the Nano Banana 2. It's the tool you want if you're aiming for photographic quality or intricate architectural renders. However, don't completely write off the Nano Banana 2 just yet. If your work leans more towards illustration, concept art, or stylized graphics, its slightly painterly aesthetic might actually be preferable. It's still a very capable model, especially for more abstract or artistic prompts. But for me, and for the kind of work I usually do, the Pro model is the clear winner. The improvements in fidelity and prompt adherence are just too good to ignore. It really does feel like a next-generation tool. I'd highly encourage you to test them both out for yourself. Again, I used the 11 Labs platform to run these comparisons, and it's a brilliant way to access these models quickly and easily. Don't forget to check out my affiliate link in the description if you want to give it a spin. I'm curious to know what you think. Based on what you've heard, which model sounds like a better fit for your workflow? Let me know in the comments below. I always enjoy reading your thoughts. Thanks for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please do give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to AI Copywriting Tools for more in-depth reviews and tutorials. And remember to sign up for 11 Labs for free using my link in the description and pinned comment.